Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Aslan, and this is Spell Basketball. How's everybody doing today? I'm so excited to be here. As always, when I do the live shows, it's just so good. I love doing them, and I got to get more consistent at it. I know I say that every time, but we have become more consistent. Before y'all do anything, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, I need y'all to head over to YouTube real quick, and I need y'all to subscribe to the channel, the Spell Basketball Show channel. If you have not seen the link or anything, that's what it is. Just type in Spell Basketball Show and it will pop up. Go hit the bell, go hit the subscribe button. That's where all my content will be. And so I appreciate you all who have rocked with me, who have been here, who have been steady, and who have been, commenting on the videos and showing support. I love y'all so much. But as always, I first and foremost want to give all glory and honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without him, I am nothing. And so I just want to say thank y'all again for all your major support. All right. So this show is going to be loaded. Okay. So we've had the second round of the playoffs already, and they're going on right now. And man, has this been a great NBA playoffs this year in 2024? We've seen Nikola Jokic capture his third MVP. We've also seen Jalen Brunson just emerge as the best point guard in the league, if you ask me, outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We've seen Anthony Edwards just take the whole game to a different level. I mean, it's just a very exciting player to watch. And so these playoffs have been very interesting, very entertaining, and definitely something to watch moving forward as we near toward the third round of the conference finals for the East and for the West. Okay. But before we get started, I want to ask y'all the question of the day. All right. See who knows this. So the question of the day today is, who holds the record for the most triple doubles in playoff history? Okay. Who holds the record for the most triple doubles in playoff history? Let me know what y'all think. I'm going to give y'all 10 seconds and then we're going to move on. Okay. 10 seconds. But again, who holds the record for the most triple doubles in playoff history in the NBA? Let me clarify that, in the NBA. Let me see if y'all know. We're getting your answers. Going once and going twice. And okay. So the answer to who holds the record for the most triple doubles in NBA history is no other than the man himself, the leader of the Lake Show in the 80s, Mr. Magic Johnson. Okay. Throughout Magic Johnson's career, Magic Johnson had 30 triple doubles in the playoffs. Okay. Magic Johnson, he's still top five to me. That's just my personal opinion. I still love Magic. I love everything he did for the game. And Magic, that's just my guy. Okay. All right. So moving forward, the first topic, we're going to go through just what has happened over the last couple of days in the playoffs. And so, we saw, like I said, we saw Nikola Jokic go on and get his third MVP in 4 seasons. He was very close to winning last year, even though Embiid edged him out in the MVP votes. Me personally, I thought Jokic should be a 4-time MVP 4 times in a row. It's kind of like LeBron, in the early 2010s when he won 4 out of 5. But Derrick Rose had that amazing season in 2011 where he just showed up and showed out, and he became the youngest MVP at that time to win the award. But the question tonight, the Nuggets play the Timberwolves tonight. And so the question is, will the Nuggets finish off the Timberwolves? Now, we saw last game, Jokic had an amazing game. After getting his MVP award, Jokic just went straight off. Okay. He had 40 points, 13 assists, and 7 rebounds last game. Okay. Now, he had an amazing, dominant game over the defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. Now, I've been seeing the talk, everybody saying that they need to take Rudy Gobert's defensive player of the year away. But Jokic definitely showed up and showed out and explained to everybody why he deserved to be MVP of this 2023-2024 season. Now, again, just a quick recap. The Nuggets were down 0-2 at the beginning of the series. Minnesota came out. They dominated Denver defensively. They looked poised. They looked like the best team in the NBA. They were scrappy. They were aggressive. And that was just something that made the Timberwolves just scary. Game 2, Denver just had a mental collapse. Jamal Murray throwing stuff on the court. Minnesota just had one of the best defensive games that we've ever seen, with probably and arguably the best starting five offensively in the NBA. And so, but Denver going to Minnesota, they definitely took control over Minnesota and have won 3 straight games. So now Denver leads the series 3 games to 2, going back to Minnesota tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time to see if they can finish out the Timberwolves and move on to the Western Conference Finals for the second time in the last 2 years. This has been an interesting series. Ant-Man is doing all that he can to help out the Timberwolves to keep them in the series. But as he so stated last game, he said he just had to laugh, because there was nothing that they could do with Nikola Jokic last game. He just controlled the game from start to finish. And so I'm excited to see what adjustments the Timberwolves make tonight, to see if they can slow down Jokic. But I also think this might be a good game for Michael Porter to kind of step up. He's kind of struggled this series with the last 2 games, I think scoring no more than 15 points in the last 2 games. This has just been a tough matchup for him. But I do look at Michael Porter might having a big game tonight, and also look at Jamal Murray to might also have a pretty big game tonight. So we will see who finishes out tonight. Me being a Nuggets fan, of course, I am biased, and so I'm like, go Nuggets. We need y'all to win tonight. But we'll see what happens tonight. I do believe if it's not a close game, that I do believe that Denver will win handily. Denver has been very good in closeout games as of recent. And so I look forward to seeing that the Nuggets take this in 6. Okay. Now on to the other series that has been one of the most exciting series of the playoffs, the New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. Now, this has been a very, very good series. Both teams have won all their home games. So New York is going back to Indiana tonight. Now, game 3. They kind of gave up game 3 in this series, but they got blown out in game 4 and they got straight blown out. However, last game, New York came out firing. It was a fiery game. There was some words between DiVincenzo and Miles Turner. But I think this game tonight, I think the Knicks take over and decide that they are going to punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference. Now, let's talk about Jalen Brunson for a little bit. Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, has been, if not the best performer, one of the best performers. Well, hands down, is one of the best performers in these 2024 playoffs. The Knicks have not been to the Eastern Conference since 2000 with that team with Allen Houston and Patrick Ewing and Larry Johnson, Latrell Sprewell, Charlie Ward. So this is going to be big for the city of New York if the Knicks can get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, what is impressive to me about the New York Knicks is that they are injury plagued right now. They're missing Julius Randle, who's out for the season, Bojan Bogdanovic, who's out for the rest of the season, Mitchell Robinson, who's been hurt, and they're missing their third best player, OG Anunoby, who has been having a good playoffs until he had a hamstring injury earlier in the series. So for the Knicks to be playing the way they are with all the injuries that they have, that that's just, they are the best team. Not the best team. They have been the most impressive team to watch in this series, considering what they have been working with. And you also have to remember that Jalen Brunson got hurt earlier in the series with the foot injury. And so we didn't know what Jalen Brunson would look like moving forward. But Jalen Brunson has definitely been that guy. I think he has 4 or 5 40-point games in these playoffs. And so Jalen Brunson is one of the most exciting players to watch in the league today. And again, is really making the case that he is the best point guard in the league, not just in the Eastern Conference, but in the league. But as I said before, I do believe that the Knicks will win this in 6. So I think the Knicks go on and close out the Pacers in 6 and move on to the Eastern Conference, where they have not been since 2000. All right. So Knicks in 6. All right. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay. And then we're going to finish out these next 2. And then we're going to have a quick commercial break. And then we're going to talk about the WNBA. But this next series has been between the Mavericks and the OKC Thunder. Right. Now, the Mavericks and OKC, they've been back and forth, back and forth. But last night, the Mavericks dominated the Thunder from start to finish. Luca had another triple double, which he's closing in on the most 30-point triple doubles in NBA history. So after watching last night's game and seeing just the dominance of Luka Doncic, I am really, and I said Mavericks in six anyways, but I'm really excited to see if they go on and close out. Now, for the Mavericks to close out, we are going to need to see a huge game from Kyrie Irving. All right. Kyrie Irving has been there, hasn't had the best games, but I'm looking at Kyrie having a good closeout game, having about 25 to 30 points in this closeout game, going back home to Dallas. I do not see this going seven, but also last night, PJ Washington was cooled off a little bit after PJ Washington has been having an amazing series. PJ Washington had a 27-point game and a 29-point game in this series. And, as Shea Gilgis Alexander alluded to, he was saying, like, we have to turn that water off. And so they turned him off a little bit last night. Not too much, but he had a couple great plays, but they were able to cool him off a little bit. But that's where Luka Doncic stepped up and had an amazing game. I think that the Mavericks will go on and finish this out in six. The Thunder are a great team. They have a lot of promise coming forward. I think they still need a little bit of more experience when it comes to it. This is their first time being in the playoffs with this squad. Chet Holmgren, this is his first year, and he's had a great year for the Thunder. But I also think that he just needs to get a little bit more experience. But the Thunder are definitely a team, as well as the Timberwolves are definitely a young team that are on the rise, and a team and somebody to really look out for in the future. I do personally believe that Shea Gilgis Alexander is also one of the toughest players to guard in the league, being 6'6", 6'7", point guard who is shifty, has an accelerator off the dribble. He can accelerate quickly off the dribble. And I'm acting like he's a car, but can accelerate quickly off the dribble, can shoot the ball, can get to his spot, can mid-range, can handle the ball very well. So Shea Gilgis Alexander is one of those players that are one of the toughest, I'd say top 5 toughest players to guard in the league when we're talking about guards in the league. And so I think the Mavericks will go on and finish this out in 6, and then we'll see what happens. But now the Celtics went on and finished off the battered Cavs last night. The Cavs are kind of like the the Knicks in a way, where they have a lot of major injuries. Jared Allen was hurt the entire playoffs. Donovan Mitchell sat out the last two or three games just because he had a calf injury. They were also missing Karis LeVert, who had a couple of games where he showed up and showed out in this series. But Darius Garland, he was a little inconsistent in this playoff series when they needed him. Darius Garland is an all-star, and Marcus Morris showed up last night. I don't know if y'all saw, but Marcus Morris showed up and showed out. Evan Mobley played well last night, but they just didn't have any help from the main guys. Max Strus, Darius Garland, Okoro was in foul trouble majority of the game last night, and so I think that they again have one of those teams. If they stay healthy, the Cavaliers, they have a good team that they can work with, but they have to stay healthy. But as far as the Celtics are concerned, I really enjoyed watching Tatum do what he does. One of the most consistent players in this playoffs for the Celtics has been Derek White. Shout out D White, Colorado, stand up, right? But Jason Tatum definitely showed up last night. Brown didn't have too much of a big game, but supporting cast stepped up. Pritchard's been stepping up off the bench. You had Hauser come in and give good minutes. We even saw Cornette come in last night and give some quality minutes for the Celtics. My thing, I think the Celtics will make I see them making the finals, and just because I think the Knicks are a little battered, and they're tough though. They're tough, so I can't count the Knicks out, but I do see the Celtics making it. Granted that Kristaps Porzingis might be healthy when it comes to the finals or even in this series. If he can come back healthy and provide something for the Celtics, I do see them making the finals. But the Celtics have proven in the past that they kind of, when they meet, when they meet that opposition, that they kind of struggle a little bit. And I know I have Denver coming out the West in the finals. I have that Denver Celtics matchup in the finals, but also you got to realize that the two games that Denver and Boston played this year, Boston lost both of those games with a full team. Now Al Horford showed up big last night for the Celtics, so he's definitely a valuable piece to the Celtics game plan still, but Denver's matchups are a little different for the Celtics, and that, again, that's if the Celtics and the Nuggets happen to get to the finals. But the Celtics, I do have them making it to the NBA Finals, but we'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. But the Celtics move forward; they win in five. I don't know if y'all saw, but my predictions: I had the Nuggets in six, the Mavericks in six, the Knicks in six, and Celtics in five. So right now, I am on path. And if all of it happens the way I said it was going to, I'm going to replay the video just so y'all know. Okay. But this has been a great playoff so far. So right now we're going to take a quick little break. Here is Anthony Cotton with his promo for his business and for his motivational speaking company. This show is brought to you by the Elevate Tour, where Anthony Cotton merges the live music performance and a powerful message in order to inspire students to elevate their mindset and life. If you would like to book Anthony Cotton, visit his website at justsayyes.org/Anthony-Cotton/. All right. All right. Again, if you would like to book Anthony Cotton at your schools, no matter where you're at in the country, go on and just say yes.org/Anthony-Cotton/. All right. I think I got that right. But again, so proud of that guy. He's making moves and doing what he loves to do. And I love seeing it. All right. So the next topic we're going to talk about real quick is the WNBA has begun. Okay. This has been one of the most anticipated WNBA seasons that we have witnessed or that we have been anticipating. Said that backwards. This is one of the most anticipating seasons that we have witnessed. I think I just said that, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So we saw a few games the other night. The last two nights have gotten started. Of course, we were super excited to see the start of Caitlin Clark's career. The Indiana Fever went against the Connecticut Sun. Connecticut Sun, of course, are one of the best teams in the WNBA and have been over the last few seasons, led by Alyssa Thomas, who is like a triple-double machine. We also have Dejanay Carrington, DeWanna Bonner. You have really good pieces up there in Connecticut. And so this game in particular, Caitlin Clark, although she had 20 points in her debut, she did struggle. Okay. I watched that whole game. She did struggle. Dejanay Carrington was on her like white on rice. Okay. She was playing her full court. She was doing it aggressively. I mean, she was really on Caitlin Clark. And then when she wasn't on her, she went out with some, like, I think it was some cramps in her leg. But then Alyssa Thomas had her pick, and Alyssa Thomas is one of the most aggressive defensive players in the WNBA as well. So Caitlin Clark had a great welcome, had a great welcome to the WNBA, but she also did very well. So again, I'm excited to see what she does. She had 20 points, had 10 turnovers. Might be the worst game we see her play. Who knows? But I'm excited to see what she does in the league, and just her presence in the WNBA, I believe, has sparked the women's game to where it's going to sell out anytime she's in the building. But also with the rookie class this year that came into the WNBA with Cameron Brink and Camila Cardoza and Angel Reese and all Caitlin Clark. And so this class was loaded. And the Fever did lose to the Connecticut Sun by 21 the other night. The Las Vegas Aces, Asia Wilson, MVP of the league before, and just came in and did what she does. She had 30 points in that game, with her supporting cast with Kelsey Plum and the other players on that squad. Jackie Young, had a good game. They went on and took down the Phoenix Mercury. Brittany Griner did not play due to a toe injury, but they took down the Mercury, and of course, the GOAT Diana Taurasi had a good game. She had 23 points in that game. And so, once Brittany Griner comes back, with the pieces that Phoenix picked up with Natasha Cloud, I also think they're going to be right there in the playoff mix as well, for the Mercury. And then also we saw the Liberty and the Mystics. Now the Mystics gave the Liberty a run for their money that game. They definitely did. But Jonquel Jones showed her dominance in that game. The Liberty did have to come back in that game against the Mystics, but the Liberty handled that game. And then the Minnesota Lynx took down the Seattle Storm. Now that's a team, I think, once they get their rhythm, I think that they'll be good. The Seattle Storm, even though they lost their first game, with the acquisitions of Skylar Diggins-Smith and Nneka Bumake, I think that's going to be a really good team to look out for. And I don't know if y'all remember, but Jewel Lloyd and Skylar Diggins, they played in college with each other, so that's a backcourt that's very familiar with each other, and I'm excited to see that. And then last night, I know Dallas Wings and the Chicago Sky played against each other with Marika Agumawale going off as usual. She's a bucket. She's like the Kyrie Irving of WNBA to me. Like, I love watching her game. She's smooth. She can score from anywhere on the court. But they took down, the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese. But Angel Reese had an Angel Reese game, was on the boards, affected the game defensively. And, I think she had around 10 points in that game. But the Los Angeles Sparks also dropped their game. I'm drawing a blank who they played against, so forgive me. But Cameron Brink did come out, and she had a good game, for the Sparks. And so, this year is going to be good. That rookie class this year is going to make an immediate impact on the game, and they're going to have everything that they need, and they have the supporting cast. Again, Cameron Brink has Kia Nurse. I've always loved Kia Nurse's game, in LA, and so it's going to be quite interesting. But I'm super excited to see what happens moving forward in the WNBA season. I definitely will be paying attention. I know this weekend, Caitlin Clark goes up against the New York Liberty with Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, and them girls up there. So I'm excited to see that game and see how that plays out. But yes, the WNBA has begun, ladies and gents. Y'all buckle up your seatbelts, get your popcorn ready, because this year is going to be amazing. I'm telling you what. All right, so moving on to the next topic, okay? We're going to talk about, who do you think has been the best or the most dominant performer in the 2024 NBA playoffs? Okay, I want you all to let me know who you think. I already have my pick, but for me, the most dominant performer in the 2024 NBA playoffs has been Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson I think has 4 or 5 40-point games in this playoffs this year. And despite his injuries, I mean, just has been unstoppable. I mean, Jalen, again, right now, Jalen Brunson is looking like the best point guard in the NBA. He's definitely the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, but he's really looking like the best point guard in the NBA. His craftiness with how he scores, his shiftiness when he's handling the ball, his IQ, him getting to his spots, him knowing when to get the ball, give the ball up to his teammates. Jalen Brunson has been the best, most dominant performer in the 2024 NBA playoffs to me. And that's just that. I mean, his stats prove it. Even when he was hurt in the game, when he got hurt in the game with his foot, he still came back in the second half after missing the whole second quarter and still had a 28, 30-point game. So Jalen Brunson, give the man his flowers. Outside of Jalen Brunson, of course, Nikola Jokic has been doing his thing. Tatum, he's been doing his thing. I liked what Tyrese Maxey was doing for the 76ers. But Anthony Edwards, right behind Jalen Brunson. Anthony Edwards has showed up and showed out again. I mean, when you're getting comparisons of young Michael Jordan, we're talking about like 80, 88 Michael Jordan, that's impressive. At that time, Jordan was almost averaging 40 points a game, in that time. So Anthony Edwards, has also been one of the most dominant performers in the 2024 playoffs. So, That's just, I'm excited to see where he goes, what he does. I thought he should have been in the MVP talk this year, absolutely, along with Doncic, Shea and Jokic. But yeah, Anthony Edwards, I mean, he's one of the most exciting players to watch today. And so I'm excited for that. But that is pretty much the show. Of course, we have the Throwback Thursday videos and everything like that. But today's video, we're talking about, I started a new segment called Who'd You Rather? Okay. So it's just, pick two players and you choose who you'd rather have. All right. So here is the first segment on the live show of Who'd You Rather. On today's episode of Who'd You Rather, we have all-time great Dirk Nowitzki from the Dallas Mavericks versus new-coming superstar. Well, he's not really new, but he's been around. Nikola Jokic. I want to know who you would surround your team around. Would you rather surround it around Dirk, or would you rather surround it around Jokic? I think it's a good question. This is Aslan Williams. Let me know what you think. Who would you rather have, Dirk Nowitzki or Nikola Jokic? So, who would y'all rather have, Dirk Nowitzki or Nikola Jokic? I'm choosing Jokic, but somebody might feel differently. You never know. But before we get off of here, first of all, thank y'all for joining me today. This was a good show. I had fun today. But I didn't tell y'all last time, but we are now produced by Walking Testimony Productions. Okay. Something I started a long time ago is finally legit. And so this is, as we close out this show, you will now see who we are sponsored by on every live show, sponsored by and produced by, as well as this is just so great. I'm just so excited, right? This is great. This is great. Okay. But we have now been and are being produced by Walking Testimony Productions. So without further ado, I just want to say thank you all for an amazing show. Thank y'all for supporting me again. If y'all have not subscribed to the channel yet, go over to YouTube, Spell Basketball Show, okay? Just type in Spell Basketball Show and subscribe. I have all my content over there, stuff that you're not seeing during the live shows, but that's what it is, all right? So as we close out, you will now see who we are produced by. And also, I just want to thank y'all for watching this show. I love y'all. God loves y'all. My name is Aslan Williams. This is Spell Basketball with the stats, the facts, and all that. Y'all have a blessed one.